Welcome to thestockmentor.com here in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your stock mentor, Brian Johnson. And the markets went nowhere today to open up options expiration week. Volatility is going to have to wait. I'll be watching for that. Coming into the middle of the week, might be some opportunities here for you day traders where we might get some gaps up, we might get some gaps down. To start the day. Those will be your opportunities. Obviously, any gap down still lends itself to the bulls, not the bears. It seems the buy the gap or buy the dip seems to be the mantra of choice within the markets. They refuse to go down. So we open up the week going relatively nowhere. Taking a quick look at the markets, you can see things were pretty flat all the way across the board. Once again, everything's in kind of perfect harmony with the NASDAQ leading the way and the Dow being the laggard of the indices. Overall, you can see what happened though. The Dow coming up and a lot of these retesting or getting close to these highs, but not being able to beat them, leaving a lot of investors, I should say not necessarily investors, but traders, kind of wary about where the next move could go. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? I'd look for maybe an open tomorrow to give us that answer. Look for moves back up and above these areas for the push to the higher side. As you can see, huge run up right into here where we do nothing but the consolidate thing again. Now we have been going in leaps of about, I should say moves of about 2 or 3 days in a row where we get these moves up and then 1 or 2 days sideways, move up, 1 or 2 days sideways, move up. Into that first day, maybe we get another day or two of sideways action before it starts to break out again to whichever direction it's going to go. But as you can see, it's still wandering its way to the upside. Overall, bulls still keeping things pretty much in parity here. The bears aren't even trying. You can see not much of a move. About 50 points today total, high to low within the Dow. Very odd to see that. These little teeny tiny candles, though, very common on this move up. Look, it's been up, but up once again very, very slowly. This makes for some very difficult trading. So let's look for those days to change going forward. NASDAQ 60-minute also pushing its way up. We saw that move last week where the big gap down just did nothing but bring all the bulls to the yard. So bringing it back up again here, and even today showing still bullish strength, up about 7-8 points by the end of the day overall. Weekly as well, we just started the week, so we'll see where this kind of ends, but you can see most everything moving sideways, so not a lot to talk about on the trading front. SPX doing the same thing, up 3 points, did break to new highs, so the Dow's kind of the laggard in that, where it's kind of waiting to maybe break to its new highs. Like I said, watch for that potentially to come tomorrow. You might hear a lot of talk about non-confirmation by the markets in the Dow standpoint, and that is fine. It was a good idea to keep that in mind. But for the time being, I really, every time there's non-confirmation, it sooner or later, actually more sooner than later, gets confirmed. So I have to expect the same thing tomorrow. Watch that open tomorrow to see if we don't get maybe a little bit of a pop to the upside in some of those moves by the market. So the SPX also showing that big move up. Here we have the move up, sideways, move up, pull back, move up. Are we going to consolidate sideways here for a few days? Let's watch and see. Any pushes back below this 1325, 1320-ish level, okay. Now maybe we could see a day or two of pullback. I hate to say that's the one, go short, because it's just not been true this entire way up. But back below the 1325, 1320 level, now you need to be a little bit more cautious with the bull side until we get that, buy the dip type of action coming back into the markets again. VIX daily, you can see, was up ever so slightly again today, but ever so slightly, just pushing its way back and above that 15.5 area where it was kind of hanging out most of these previous weeks. If we go back to December, look at this. It's right back to where it was before. There just isn't a lot of push here. I will tell you though, for those of you that are options traders, I love this low VIX. I did get into some moves today, some options today, because I really love the low volatility. Hard not to be a buyer down here of the options. Even if it ducks below this area, even more reason for me to start looking for more options to buy. I love it when the VIX and the volatility is low within the markets. Apple 60-minute, look at this. Oh, just teasing you. Not pushing the new highs today. However, you got to respect the fact that it's still in this high base formation. I still have to lend myself to the bulls for the time being. These are just the type of moments where it wants to make you get really, really bullish on it, and then you wake up the next day and it's down $2 or $3. So let's watch that closely. However, everything is the same within Apple, and that is you can see this morning as soon as the market opened, bought it up very, very quickly and then wandered sideways all day long. So if there's any dip tomorrow, watch to see if some of these lower support levels hold and see if the dip comes in quickly or if the buy the dip comes in quickly to start the day. Apple Daily as well pushing its way up. Not able to get to that overhead area, though. That is important. I know you guys think, oh, come on, it's going to make it tomorrow. Yeah, and you know what? It very well could. And by all means, I really think it should. I mean, this really looks like a pretty good 1, 2, 3. This wick down here would be 4, and now we're pushing for that next new high, which could be the 5 or whatever, if you want to call it a 5. I don't care. Point being, it does really honestly look like we're going to break to new highs with an Apple. And there's your entry. There, I think it's a good opportunity to maybe get long a little bit of Apple coming into the middle of the week. I'm certainly looking for it myself come tomorrow morning. But until it breaks that level, oh man, there's still that possibility, still that outside chance that we could see this thing turn around and move to the downside and maybe even break downwards as opposed to upwards in the short term on Apple. Weekly hanging out above that blue line. We'll see where that ends up middle of the week. FAS then was up a whopping 18 cents today. Does give us some opportunity, but now we have to watch that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, potentially has played itself out. That'll be interesting to see where the banking index goes tomorrow with the FAS and on the FAZ both. Obviously, we're looking at that push above these areas up here. We played that very well last week for some nice profits. It's still above 33. It's still holding nicely above here. If you can squeak that thing above 34, yes, there's potentially still some profits left in this thing. So far, it looks very, very nice. To the long side, FAZ now coming down and still resting on this midline that I have drawn in here in this channel that we're watching. There's a lower line I don't have in right now because it just gets things a little cluttered. But overall, we're holding very nice to this midline down here, working extremely well as support as it's been all the way down. And every time the stock continues lower. So we were only down a whopping 4 cents today by the end of it. Point is, it's still down. I'm still targeting this lower blue area potentially for your, your area of next stronger support. It is setting up a very nice kind of and I'm not going to say a base down here, but it is kind of setting up a nice formation in and where it's at right now. But until I see some kind of a push back above this $8 range, or especially above this 20-period moving average, I'm just not interested to the long side. So if you're still short, doing great. I'd watch for pushes back above $8, and then I'd start to revisit my, my short position and whether or not I want to hold on to that. You could even move that down into profits right now to the 775-ish area, but just don't have no interest in it to the long side for the time being. All right, that'll do it for today's video. There really isn't much to talk about when the markets move sideways like this, but I will do this for you. It was requested that I show the subscribers picks that we had over the weekend. Some people were curious about it, so I did it yesterday. In yesterday's video I showed you the actual charts, but today I had time to sit down and now I've done the actual video. So following this, you're going to see the actual video. This gives you a good taste of what the subscribers video is like and what I do within the subscribers video for those that sign up. You can sign up over to your right on the little subscribers box there. If you want to just click the ad, it'll take you right to a place to sign up for the subscribers video. Otherwise, hang out, check out the video. Gives you a good idea of what goes on within the subscribers video itself. Gives you the actual audio and video that I gave them, like, I don't know what it was, the previous Monday or whatever, on things to watch, where to get in. We followed that all week long. So this gives you the actual audio and video of the trades themselves. I hope you find it useful. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, there's some skips within the subscribers video that you're going to see. That is because not all of my picks were taken off for the week. The only ones I'm showing you are the ones that I took off from last week. Some of them we held over into the new week. Those, of course, are not there. So if you see some skips or whatever in the video, I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to be deceitful by showing some cleverly edited video footage. I'm not built that way. It's not a good way to build repertoire with people, especially my subscribers or those that are thinking about signing up. So if you see some skips in the video, it's only because I'm skipping over trades that are left on from last week. Can't show you those. Those are for my subscribers. See you guys again tomorrow. Bye. AIRM broke above here. I said I would not be interested in this thing to the short side if it got above here, and I was not. For those of you that know how to play it, you might have gotten long above here and are doing very well with a long play. At this point, it's too late. You want to wait for a pullback, something to that effect, but right now I'm not interested, certainly not interested in going short this, and no longer interested in going long. We're right into the moving averages here, so I'd be very careful on your play of this. I liked it to the short side. If we could get it back below 49.50, never saw it. Once it broke this little channel here, I was like not interested at all. This was the place to maybe look to go long, if anything. Certainly not interested in the short side at this point. Back 60-minute also up 25 cents, just trying to poke its head above this thing right here. I do like it above 49, below 48, but you can see the consolidation. It got just above 49. If you're in it, I'd put my stop just below that 49 mark and see if it'll go tomorrow. Very, very tough. If this thing will hold above 49, you can still get in it tomorrow above that 49 level, but put your stop just below 49. That way you have very little risk on the table. Maybe we can get this thing to move up into that 20 or even the 50. Those are good price targets to the upside. Backs weekly as well, not breaking these lower levels, giving us short entries and consolidating sideways. This consolidation still looks, ultimately, you can do A, B, C if you want to, or 1, 2, 3. This is a sideways 4 in that case. Right now, there's just really no overall direction. Still waiting for a break of this blue line or a break of this overhead blue line for your CF on the 60-minute. I liked it above 146. We got that break yesterday. You can see it coming right back to rest here, so I'd be very cautious with this. Put your stop in right below maybe 146 or 145.50. Don't put a lot of risk on the table right here, but if this thing can get some legs tomorrow, you could see this run. This could make a little bit of a run here over the next couple days, potentially up and over 150, but right now what's stopping it is this overhead resistance line. It is working very well for the time being. So let's see if that holds by the end of the week. EDU worked out, finally did. I'm glad I kept it on another week. I loved it below 98 or 97, one of those two entries. If you got in today, you're in great shape. If you have the room, I'd put it above 98.50 and let it sit. See if we can't get this thing to now finally run to the downside. I really still think it's weak. The markets are up. This thing is down. I like it back into right around this 92.50, 92 to 93 range. 93. 92.93 I'd be watching as a first target if you guys are looking to take some profits, especially since it ducked below. Especially if you're in below 98, if you were more aggressive, got in below 98, that's a $6 trade at that point. Even below 97, if this thing will get back into the 92, 93 range, you're looking to make $5-6 off of it. That's a great trade.